Alright, can you find the problem with this team comp? That's right, no combat suit. It's a team comp meant to utilize the combat suit. And I failed. Instead I went with, full Wad Arco. Full Fate Extra. When I shouldn't have. Definitely shouldn't have. Hello everyone, this is the Voice of Saint Quartz, and I'm doing something very different than usual. See, it doesn't make a lot of sense to stream this event because each door, as it's called, it can only be accessed once per day. Yes, you probably could just wait until the very end of the event when they're all unlocked and just run through them all in one single stream, but I figured since we don't get many of these challenge quest events that I would take advantage of this moment and try something different. Try a commentary style format. I'm probably going to completely botch this, but who knows? I might blank out a few times, you'll have to forgive me. I mean, this is actually 13 minutes of footage, so there's only so much I can say about what's going on here. But anyway, so back to the team comp, since that is still relevant here. We're kind of butchering these guys, these skellies. These spooky skellies are nothing, considering they only have like 7,000 HP. But this is a ruse. This is to make you feel good about yourself until we get to the second part of this battle, where suddenly these skellies get a massive upgrade. They are suddenly very spooky, scary skeletons, along with Mephistopheles, who smells. He's even got a cloud of fumes around him. I know he's a shadow servant, but come on, man, I think it's larger than average. Nonetheless, I actually went with the reverse approach for this. You are not so... Well, I can't say... It depends on what servants you have. I was just really itching to use Rhyme. I really wanted to use Rhyme. And Narrow Bride isn't a bad choice, except in this case, where it hasn't happened yet, but using the power of foreshadowing, I will tell you bad things are going to happen to Narrow Bride because there are archers on the field, and they don't like sabers. There was actually a moment there where I noticed that the audio was kind of out of sync with the video footage, the video feed, so I had to make an adjustment there. That's what that slight transition, excuse me, was, in case you noticed it. And if you didn't notice it, well, now you know it's there, because I just pointed it out for you. This is actually the first of many times I'm going to spam Narrow Bride's NP and save my butt. This one, it doesn't do much except just deal damage, but other times it's going to come into very... I can't think of the word. See, I told you this would happen. I told you I would blank several times, but we have 10 more minutes, so it's okay. Anyway, point is, that NP is going to be very useful, especially considering how easily it can be spammed. Due to all the skills being thrown around, all the arts and NP game skills being thrown around. Anyway, yeah, these skellies are tough. They are tough sons of bitches, and they like to do lots of damage, even against neutral targets. They're pulling off close to like 2,000 a shot. Luckily, they can only fire once. Even when I start getting rid of people on the field, they only go once, so that's pretty cool. But yes, the problem is that also that not just that they're archers in sake of class advantage, but also they charge their NPs way too fucking fast. So I'm sitting here kind of a little bit in panic mode. I'm like, oh shit. Pardon my language, but yes, I am kind of pooping myself because I know that if they strike Narrow, she is good as dead, considering how much damage they're already doing. And they like to power boost a lot. Mephi here is not much of an issue. He's got 5 points on his gauge. He never gets his NP off, by the way, so I never expected him to in the first place. I wasn't really worried about him. He was pretty easy, especially considering the neutral damage we were doing to him was spicy. But here I'm going to start thinking of making a risky maneuver, see? Because I'm like, alright, I'm calculating. How much damage can a resistant target take from a Narrow Bride who is powered up by a level 9 iteration or version or rank, I guess, I don't know what to call it, of her skill that boosts her attack strength, along with an arts boost from my suit. Can it take it? Can it tank both the NP and the rest of her attacks through a Brave Chain? And so I test this. I'm like, well, might as well. Already dealing 32,000, very strong, and thankfully I crit twice. Nero does an excellent job there. So I'm like, alright, this is pretty much a wrap-up. Mephi is gone. His defense is also lowered. Fantastic. I really don't even know what to do here, by the way, because there's so many things I can do, so I decide I'm gonna go a little bit risky again, and decide to heal everyone. Even though I can't get the NP gauge, I can get the cooldown, and I can get the heal. Definitely needing the heal here. As you can see, I foreshadowed earlier that Narrow Bride would start getting bullied really bad. Lo and behold, that indeed happened. Luckily, we critted there, but even then, I'm sure it wouldn't have mattered because the extra attack damage is through the roof. It's pretty much the entire 13,000 just in one attack. And now we come to the Phantom of the Opera, the Avatar of Envy in this case. Here I'm thinking, I'm thonking real hard. I also had to move the screen a little bit there, because it was bothering me. I could see my wallpaper in the background a little teensy bit. So, I'm thinking, what do I even start with? I also have a potential Brave Chain for Tamamo here, and so I decide to go for it. I'm like, you know what, this seems like a really good idea to get some critical stars. She's not bad at getting critical stars, and, I mean, she does double damage to Phantom, so let's do this. Boom. Nice crit. Very solid on a 27, thanks to 2030. However, again, the Skellies really have a hard-on to bully Narrow Bride. This is very troubling. So I have to heal her. Besides, she can fire off her NP, so I decide, you know what, I'm going to take full advantage of this. After a little bit of dabbling, I decide, there we go. I decide, yes, let's just go for it. I mean, it's neutral damage, it's not resistant this time. So, third time's a charm, let's see how it goes. She may have fairly weak attack, but hey, so does Skahak. And you don't see her failing at dealing damage. So that's pretty solid right there. Very solid damage. And the quick really isn't bothering me. I was pretty much toying around with these guys for most of this fight. The whole idea of the fight didn't seem particularly threatening to me. I mean, yes, they're bullying Narrow Bride, but still, Tamamo and Nursery Rhyme are hanging in there like troopers. They're doing very good. There's really not a lot of worry here. I think, in fact, the second part of this fight is a little bit itchier, I guess, to my worries than this part, this last part with Phantom, because the quick down? Why would I bring a quick team to this? I ask you. This one it has first fight of 7 written all over it. I mean, other than the fact that it is, in fact, the first fight of 7. You get my meaning. My point is, of course, that Phantom currently has his entire gauge filled, and I decide, you know what? Time to blast him with Rhyme. Anyway. Also, let's think about this. You're probably going to bring casters to this fight, which of course I did. Maybe not these exact casters, I would maybe recommend Media instead. However, you will probably bring casters to this fight. They are all arts-based. Who cares about quick cards? Maybe, like, if you're a weirdo like me, you bring a saber, but you're just gonna bring an arts saber, if you can. Or another arts person. Basically, you're going to bring arts people to this fight. Even though Mephi is here, and you might be tempted to bring a rider, why? He's not even the final boss. I ask you. Why would I bring a quick team to this? Unless they make you think, oh, I really want to use Edmond, and he's quick-based. So, how about I put together a makeshift quick team just for him? That would be the only possibility. And even then, he's not good for this fight. He is not good for this fight. He can do damage, but the best heavy hitters you can bring are casters, archers, like maybe why? No, you wouldn't bring why would you bring lancers to this fight? Why would you bring lancers? That would be straight foolish. Anyway, funny enough, yes, once again, Phantom, the boss character in both the two last fights of this battle. The boss character is not the spooky part, it's the skellies. The skellies have me worrying over here. A little bit, yeah, considering they can get their NPs off so fast. And yes, you might say, well, 4's not that fast. 4 gauge is not that fast. Well, when you have a boss character, it does make you focus on them a lot more. So yes, ultimately I decided to take the risk here, even though I still have a quick down on Nero. I decide, you know what, it's worth trying to get those crits, and it works, and it's dead. That's one less skelly. However, they still bully Nero Bride. They cannot leave her alone. And we are so close to the end of this fight, and I'm thinking, there is no way I can kill this thing. It's going to get its NP off. This is very disheartening to me, and I'm thinking, I have no way to defend Nero here. I'm all out of options. It would have been great if I brought that combat suit. That would have been ideal, and I should have, because that's how I built the team in the first place. I could have swapped out, I could have stunned. I could have done many things if I brought the combat suit, but alas, I was very anxious to get this going by this point, and I was like, you know what, this is a good team, let's just slap them together. At least it fits with the theme. Everybody's drawn by Wadarko. But I already mentioned that. Anyway, so I'm thinking, alright. There's no way. There's no way, and it does. It aims for Nero, and I feel very, very awful about myself and my life choices. There's no, I figured there would be no way, considering that okay, I've got Tamamo and Nursery Rhyme, that's 2 out of 3. And it goes for the one last of the third. If that makes any sense. One last of the third. Who even says that? I don't know. Anyway, point is, I decide, you know what, I'm just going to start a Buster Groove with Nursery Rhyme, and you might think, why would you use the AoE on a single target? Well, because it does lots of damage, friend. Watch this. Be amazed by playthings, and candy, and sweets, and fun times! Dealing 9,000 damage, which is more than I need. And I just make it. Fantastic rhyme. And that's about that. That is the first door. I screwed around a whole lot, but I got through it with minimal casualties. And one unlucky casualty. Very unlucky. I'm sorry, Nero.